non-cartoon Disneys.
I'll try to get a list.
Okay.
I put one in Trello. Pull up Trello.
Yeah, there's a link in the Trello.
Yeah, no. That's actually the best one. I was doing this, and then they're all remakes.
Yeah, you got to find some of the originals. Heavyweights, Blank Check, Dunstan Checks In. Is that Disney?
Are we calling
George of the Jungle?
But they're calling all these like red, like turning red. They're calling that a live action. Would you consider that a live action?
That's not live action. That's a cartoon.
The new Little Mermaid's live action.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
live action.
Okay.
It's real people, and
Okay.
what you're looking for is non-cartoon.
Okay.
So like, as long as it's a person in it.
We just had the golden era of those movies in our childhood.
Yeah, we did.
Like I'm not for sure on this, but I would almost be willing to bet money that Disney had like a huge budget for real life movies and a huge budget for animated movies. There was they're all Disney, but they're all being made like simultaneously. You know what I mean?
They even made bangers for like the Disney Channel original movies. Those are still good.
Yeah, they don't produce it like they used to. That's for sure. I will. All right, so I have all of them right here.
The list.
Yeah.
All the best Disney live action. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah. It starts
So
to me.
We're talking best Disney non-cartoon.
Yeah, live
right?
action non-cartoon.
Okay.
To me, it starts with Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings is your number one of all time.
It's like if we were seeding them, I feel like that'd be number one.
You'd pick that over the Santa Claus.
There's a lot of good ones. That's what I'm saying.
Tim Allen and the Santa Claus is, you just don't even care. Just Cool Runnings.
We are on Christmas.
I love Chat GTP or GPT. Whatever.
Get it right.
Whatever the fuck. I have dyslexia.
Heavyweights was another one on there with Ben Stiller.
Heavyweights is a good one.
The fat kids that go to fat camp.
So I have.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I have all of them here listed from 1990 on. Should I go back further than 1990, or do you think that's a good year?
I think that's fair.
That's good enough.
Okay.
Mighty Ducks, first
Mighty
of all.
Ducks was
Okay.
a good one.
Needs to be mentioned.
We have The Rescuers Down Under
Okay.
from 1990. I don't know.
It seems cartoon.
Yeah,
right? That's a
is that
cartoon.
not animated?
It's
It's animated. I don't know why they're calling them live action. These guys need to get their shit together, blogs.
I'm not blaming you because I know you don't know what that is, but I'm pretty sure that was animated for us.
Yeah, Rescuers Down Under.
Yeah.
I'm confident that was an animated.
Yeah.
all right. Let me refine this.
The Trello link was no good.
Yeah, he's trying to do it on ChatGPT.
No, I
He's gonna
went
have
to the
some
Trello link, and then it's just like there's a lot of them here, but it's not like what I want. It's not sorted like I'd like it to be.
Okay.
I'm looking for a little bit more assortment, like let's see, or less assortment is what I meant. Okay, so yeah, that's still saying The Rescuers Down Under. Let's see if that is live action. I'll let you know.
No.
It's
All
not.
right.
It's not.
Well,
No.
yeah. So Mighty Ducks is a good one. Cool Runnings is a good one. Blank Check is a huge one. Like
Yeah.
what's Heavyweights? I know is an older one. Like
Heavyweights is great.
what like I don't know.
I mean, really,
the
what you-
Jungle.
George the Jungle is good. Brendan Fraser is good, but like it was never like a huge one in my childhood. But it does show you how many good movies they had back then. Like there's really like compared to now, like what are you watching? Like my kids, I watch all these movies with my kids. There's some good ones. Moana was pretty non-live action, right? But like Moana was pretty fucking good.
Disney's come back a little bit. I don't know why people give them so much. Well, I do know why.
Yeah,
but
it's the woke mind virus.
yeah,
Yeah.
they still
That was-
produce some good stuff.
The wokeness overtakes creativity. So you can only pledge your allegiance to one power, I think, and you're divided between the muses of creativity and the muses of wokeness.
Mhm.
And I think, unfortunately, the muses just keep coming back and say, you should really make the main character gay. You should really make the main character should be a tranny.
I just don't
I
understand.
think that's where we're.
No,
The woke mind. It's the woke muses. Maybe it's really what we're looking at.
I hear you, but how are they going to make, with all that in mind, then make the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs with no dwarfs?
Yeah, you can't actually like call people what they are. So like if a dwarf,
You know what I
can't play a dwarf, I think.
It
So-
seems so disingenuous.
which is really ironic though if you think about it. How many jobs do you think that midgets and dwarves get in Hollywood? Well, since Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory doesn't use dwarves anymore, like I don't know how many other ones there are.
That's kind of my
Jackass,
point.
That's
Jackass
true.
had a few midgets there for a little while, and maybe just Wee Man. I don't know if there was more than one.
I think that was just
Wee Man.
And then there was like the Wolf of Wall Street probably employed a few of them for a while there for that scene. they
Yeah,
did.
Blink-182 and All the Small Things, the music video had some had some midgets.
Appropriately.
So,
named.
it really, these people probably are one of the easiest overlooked groups of people. And I'd say
It's a good
most of us, it went right over their heads. And
let's do it.
I would say, it's ironic. You're taking away from the group of people that really do have a
That's why I'm
disadvantage
saying,
compared to the regular crowd.
It's astounding to watch, frankly.
Yeah. So the woke mind virus went in the opposite direction.
Like
on
the
that
literal first chance you had to give a marginalized group of people the jobs that
they played
wanted.
the Ewoks in the Battle of Endor and things like that.
Yes, that's true.
So
I love me some Ewoks.
Ewoks were great. So they had some great roles all throughout up until Disney, who now owns the Ewoks, were just like, nah, fuck the midgets. We don't like the midgets anymore. So
I found out a very interesting fact about. I think it was your brother.
Oh yeah, what'd you find out?
That
Jason?
Yeah, that he's scared of Chewbacca.
Scared of Chewbacca?
Yeah, I think
he's just lying to you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm like, I'm pretty sure like that was told to me at the Christmas party that he was afraid of Chewbacca.
Yeah, I think it was a lie.
I don't
just
know.
fucking with you. Maybe.
I don't know.
Now maybe there was a case that he was scared of Chewbacca before I was born because he's 5 years older than me.
Okay, that's true. No, because your mom told me it was definitely your mom.
Okay,
yeah.
So he was probably scared of Chewbacca before I was ever, because he's 5 years older than me. So by the time he was 10, is when my memories probably start, right? So like 5's the earliest I remember. So yeah, it's very possible. So scared of Chewbacca. So that sounded more like Sloth on Goonies.
Yeah, what is? I think I know. I was afraid of Mickey Mouse slippers when I was like 4 or 5.
Really?
Because I thought they were. I remember even being like, I'm not putting that shit on my feet.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but I was just thinking like irrational fears.
Irrational. Yeah.
Like I freaked out.
I had a thing against people looking at me at a certain point in time. I don't know why. I think my brothers messed with me too much. So it's like this guy's like dolls. It was like this doll would be looking at me across the room or something like that, or like this little toy action figure. It's looking at me.
It sounds like an older brother. So I don't even have an older brother, and it sounds like
I don't know exactly the history because I was pretty young, but they like to fuck with me.
This one's watching you, Jerry.
Yeah. They probably did. They probably instilled that fear deep into the core of me. This is why I wake up at like 1 o'clock in the morning and I'm just like, who's in my house?
Jesus Christ.
Who's in my house?
Well, see, my wife's the youngest of 5 as well. So I think that there's something like the youngest siblings just get tormented.
Yeah.
And just get like the irrational fears and whatnot.
It's the price we pay for being better than them.
Damn straight.
And our parents liking us more.
The parents
That's gotta suck.
The parents go through many iterations, of parenting. The iteration of 1 for the first child, 2, so by the time you get to the last one, there's the chance that you don't care anymore. Like, so then the give a fuck meter goes down. So like maybe you do a lesser of a job. Like, it's possible like as the 5th kid, or something like that. I was just about to say. So they might not give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, I feel like the parenting should get better as the iterations go on,
I'm not a parent, so it's hard for me to speak on it. But I think if what I remember, you care less. Well, you actually care more, but you do less.
That's fair. Yeah.
Which is an interesting dynamic.
Yeah. You watch these people. It's funny. You watch people with 1 kid. And especially like only children.
Yeah.
And it's crazy the stuff they do.
Right. The classic pacifier on the ground.
Yeah. Oh, man. They take care of only children. Like you can think about it, like 2 adults at all times catering to 1 child is a lot. Now I've got 3 kids and I ignore them most of the time. So like you got like 2 parents that they haven't been tired of kids yet because there's 1 kid and like they can just like tell them to go away or something, go bug your mom. And then they got freedom. So they're like doing all sorts of stuff with their kids that with 3 kids, I would, they'll figure it out, they'll figure it out.
How would you describe like, I don't know, like, were you more strict with the first one or the last one?
I was more strict with the first one and I was different with my punishment with the first one than I figured out at a certain point in time that like spanking, even though like spanking was something that I was brought up with and was pretty normalized, around my age group and people I knew and things like that. And so, I kind of assumed like, yeah, if you want to discipline your kid, you kind of have to like spank your kid or something like that. And so I had no problems with it for the most part. I don't think I did it excessively, or anything. But at a certain point, I realized a few things. One, that it doesn't work. At least my kids, like you can put the fear into a kid of their parent, and it's just the wrong way to go, personally. But that also, it's just like you're taking out your own anger in like a physical way on your child, and I think that's going to lead to problems. So we stopped at that point in time. I was like, I don't think this is working. Got to change directions.
So
right?
was it only the first kid you spanked, or like did you get?
I probably spanked the other ones up to a certain point. He was just the oldest.
Gotcha. Okay, I gotcha. I wasn't sure if like you had to determine that by.
No, I'm sure I spanked. You know, you don't spank little babies or like toddlers. They don't really get it until a certain age.
Yeah.
You know, for the most part, and so we didn't on them. But once they hit a certain age, we would, you know, give them little stock, you know, swats or nothing big. But I'm sure I did it with all of them to some degree. But at a certain point, I was just like, no, this doesn't work. I'm done.
Yeah, like
So
the most affected, or I don't know if but this is what I'm on my first child now. He's like 2.5, and I will just like kind of grab his wrist and like hit his hand to kind of get his attention and whatnot, just trying to get him like, and that's like the closest thing to spanking that I do. I haven't decided if I'm going to spank it when it gets
and there's times where, you know, I have to explain things to my kids sometimes where my kids think I'm the meanest dad or something. Like, you know, a baby that's running around with scissors would just throw a fit if you were to take those scissors away from them. But they don't know you're like saving their life potentially. And so I have to do that with my kids all the time where I'm just like, you don't know that, but this is good for you. You know, whatever. I mean, it's not spanking, but it's whatever the discipline is at the time. So I think everybody's got to develop, you know, their own method for the most part. But I think that the risk of physical violence against your child is just an ineffective way. And the thing I even say to my kids, like when they start beating each other in real life, I got 3 boys, right? And so they just fight all the time. I'm like, you know, there's never a time in life where you're going to be able to solve your problems like this with somebody else. You know, somebody else pisses you off in life. You can't just slug them. You can't just like,
unfortunately, that doesn't
right.
work.
And so I'm like, I know you're brothers. You're just going to fight. This is how it's going to be. But like, that's not real life. Same with parents spanking, right? You know, there's no time in life where that is the guidance of life and that kind of thing. So I think it's got to go deeper.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. Yeah. I mean, I agree. Like there might be
spare the rod, spoil the child.
Yeah, that was before all the psychological research that shows how you'll fuck your child.
I've read it. You're all right.
Okay.
There's no right or wrong way to discipline children at all. Totally.
There's so many different kids. Yeah, there's so many different kids.
See, I kind of went through something similar with my dogs. Like,
okay.
So I have 2 dogs, and
I think they show especially with dog training that reinforcement is so much stronger than punishment.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, but it's harder to do.
But it's harder to reinforce. So punishment's so easy that we punish all the time. That's what we do with our kids. We punish. And to be fair, I mean, that's what we do to ourselves most of the time, even in our own head. Punishment. I mean, those voices came from somewhere. And so they came from most likely your parents. They came from their parents. They came from blah, 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 you know, down the road. And everybody's just doing the same thing that they were raised to do, essentially. But we obviously know through psychological research that punishment doesn't work. And that it's either positive reinforcement would be how you change these behaviors. Negative reinforcement would reinforce a bad behavior, you know, that you don't want. And a lot of times I think that's what punishment ends up doing is just negatively reinforcing bad behaviors.
Funny how we haven't learned that with our penitentiary systems here in the country yet either.
Yeah, there's a lot of room for those to improve. And that's a whole new topic too. I mean, you're talking, how do you combine both the rehabilitation process along with safety concerns, you know, letting people back into society, you know, do they deserve a punishment or is it just a rehabilitation program? Yeah. You know, there's a lot of stuff to go to that.
See, I feel like the mental approach at anything is very important, right? On how you're, how you're going to walk away from it, right? So we're talking about, you know,
how is it going to fuck you up?
Yeah, disciplining kids and dogs and all that, and then it goes into disciplining yourself. How do you talk to yourself in a constructive manner? And I think that kind of brings us into like our first topic today, which is body positivity. Okay. Right. So that can be used with negative or positive reinforcement. Because I kind of
know what I think when I hear body positivity, right?
Well, I can guess.
I guess I picture fat people. Yeah. I don't know about you guys. Do you picture fat people when you hear body positivity?
I picture Lizzo on an airplane.
Well, I mean, that's a fat person.
So,
and that's kind of what I mean is like
that's what they mean by positivity for your body.
And that's what I mean is like, where's the line do you draw at being hard on yourself? Yeah. Saying that I'm fat, I'm out of shape, I need to make a change, something needs to happen, and not trying to be too hard on yourself. Yeah. Right. So you're basically trying to parent your own, you know, goals and processes and minds and mindstates and whatnot. So I guess my question was where have you found success with that balance when you came like bodybuilding competitions or just everyday life?
Yeah. Well, it depends. I mean, you can definitely change your physique being an asshole to yourself, right? Like you can, and I imagine some of the most successful people hate themselves inside. And like, I mean, and when they don't do what they said they were going to do or don't hold up to their own artificial standards of themselves, are disappointed in themselves. And I think that's a problem. I think a lot of people, and like I said, I think society and I think parents and everybody is pushing this on you. Anyway, I'll do it with my kids, not even thinking about it. It's just something stupid that didn't really matter. But, I'm instilling kind of like this, you should have done better kind of mentality. And I think everybody has it to some degree. And I doubt you'll ever get rid of it, and it is definitely something that pushes people into fitness, pushes people, but I don't like how it works, right? Mm-hmm. We've talked about this a little bit before. I don't like how it's guilt-based and it's shame-based. And these are not your most powerful emotions for causing changes and transformations and things like that in your life, right? So, I mean, shame and guilt can kind of get you started, but I think if you're always talking negatively to yourself, you're going to have some major problems. The real question is though, how do you change something like that? How do you change your actual way you feel about yourself? Because otherwise, there's all these positivity, bullshit things out there that are, positive affirmations and talking nicely to yourself and saying things that like you don't actually believe. And like, you're lying to yourself, that kind of thing. So, I mean, I'd actually pivot this one a little bit to John. John's more the expert in some of this area. He's got the psych degree and everything, so.
I mean, just like self-confidence and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, let's look at it from a different point of view. Like, there's a fat person that needs to change the way they look. Right.
Sure.
Typically you would kind of like berate yourself in your head.
Sure.
Like you're a fat piece of shit. Like why can't you do this? Why can't you stick to your diet? Why can't you work out? Like I'm going to go work out really hard tomorrow because I feel guilty about what I
don't
ate.
taste that good.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I think, to change your life, can you do it in a different way other than being mean to yourself?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think a lot of it is being kind to yourself with also being truthful.
Okay.
I think that's the real
honesty.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I would call it. I would even take it a step further. I'd call it radical honesty.
Sure.
Because I think there's a lot of us that are lying to ourselves.
Absolutely. Yeah. Transparency, whatever you want to call it. I think that's where it all starts, man. I mean, whether you're a guy that's skinny that wants to get huge or a girl that's overweight and you want to lose weight, you have to have a goal.
Well, sure.
But I think the self-confidence aspect is that, and I think once you're honest with yourself and then you have a plan in place, that is where you can get an element of confidence.
Okay.
It's still hard to do though. And then that's what I mean is like, it's such a hard thing to answer. Like, how do I overcome that sort of thing?
What's your opinion on people kind of using it as a crutch to make excuses for themselves on why they're not where they want to be?
That's the danger, right? That's the danger. But we all lie. Like the thing that I picked up really is that we're all lying to ourselves all the time about things. And to take that radical honesty and even admit to yourself, like there's guys that will never admit that they're afraid of something, right? No, I'm not scared. Like it's going up and talking in front of people. I'm not scared of that. Yeah. I'm not scared. Like it's okay. You can be fucking nervous and like you can be really scared of going and talking in front of a bunch of people when you've never done it before. But we try to play that off even to ourselves. Like I'm not scared. You like shove the feeling away. Right? I'm not scared. I don't feel that. I'm not scared.
Yeah.
I think the radical honesty is more coming in touch with that kind of thing, where I think then you can actually deal with the reality of the situation.
And I know it's the easy psych thing, but it's true. It's like you have to ask yourself why. You need to, unless it's out of your control. Unless you're that rare person that just has a eating problem, you got your thyroid stuff, all that stuff. Take all that side aside. Why are you not the way you want to be?
Yeah.
I know that sounds easy.
Yeah.
You have to figure that out.
Sure.
That's it. It's that simple. You have to get a plan in place too. Because that's where confidence comes from, is direction. You know where you're going. You can always put another foot in front of the other, but you need a direction.
And being able to follow that direction is what I felt like helped me gain confidence with bodybuilding, right?
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
Being able to stick to my diet and being able to do what I said I was going to do really did help me form a different, opinion of myself, how I felt of, what I felt about myself, and built a discipline that I wouldn't have had otherwise, right? Which doesn't stick around forever.
Body positivity, honestly, is a great thing. The problem is it's become this meme, this wink joke about how, like, tell your girlfriend that she looks like Lizzo.
Yeah.
And, Lizzo's beautiful. right?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
she's not.
Yeah.
No.
I'm sorry, but it's so
Not my
widespread.
style.
Like if you go and look at like any Lizzo post or whatever, like somebody will like our iHeartRadio will like post something on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, like about Lizzo's performance, and you go and look at the comments, and it's people come like, "Oh my god, look how beautiful she is," and
It's just,
and I'm just like,
it's
dude,
just a
come
part-
on, like.
It's just a part of the woke mind virus.
And
And
that's what-
the muse is infecting these people. And
I'm not even saying people obviously can find her attractive. The
No,
point
there's
is,
definitely. I think there's people that find. I think anybody to a certain degree, there's a fetish for. Right.
That's what I'm saying. But that
There's
doesn't
always a fetish. The BBWs. There's fetishes. People love the BBWs. Like surely there's people. Everybody has their own opinions and standards of beauty and things like that.
You know who doesn't have that sort of fetish? Her cardiologist.
Yeah, that's
or the
They
person,
might, though.
or the person that'll be digging her grave if she doesn't
if the
change her lifestyle.
cardiologist was who's the guy that's in the like bringing down the house? What's the guy's name? You remember?
Bringing down the house.
Yeah, he's a white guy. It's Queen Latifah and the old guy that's in there.
That's a deep pull.
Yeah. You can't pull that one out.
Phil Hardman?
No.
I was thinking of Sinbad.
Yeah, no, that was Sinbad for sure. So he may be a fan. You know, there's always the skinny white dudes that love the big chicks.
That's fair.
And it's always the big chicks that get so pissed off too. Like you'll see somebody say like in the 1950s, so and so magazine said this is like the perfect like
yeah.
And it's like says who, and you go look at their profile and it's just like some like my 600-pound life girl. And it's like
it's all just a fake cultural construct.
That's what it is.
You don't ever hear anyone gassing up skinny girls. Not once.
They don't. No.
When have you ever heard be like, "Go ahead, girl. Yeah. We're that."
They also
size
don't
two.
need it. They don't need it.
Well, that's why. That's
none
why.
of them need it, and that's my.
You're
point.
seeing it on the Lizzo posts, because that's where they feel like they have to give the extra attention rather than like
we can tell you're trying to.
You're trying. It's not organic. You're trying. Like
I think that's all women almost because I remember being in. I don't like this as much anymore.
Women are fake as fuck. Bro. Women are fake as fuck.
I wasn't going to go this whole route, but that's the first thing that came to mind when you started this whole conversation. It's like this is just women lying.
It's
to other women.
and it's the funny thing because guys and women and guys communicate so differently. Like I'm gonna call you a fucktard or something. And it's just how we're going to communicate. Women are like, oh, you're so sweet. I love you so much.
Yeah.
I can't. And then it's like, she really just fucking hates your guts. Where you and I call you fucktard. We just like butts.
Yeah.
It's just not a big deal.
One of my favorite things in the world is watching a woman I know who doesn't like another woman
play
and
the
then
game.
just watch them. Oh,
yeah,
yes,
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's good to see you. How are the kids?
Dude, they're so
little. You can hear the tone. You're just like, and you're just like, why would you be like this? Just be quick.
It's true. Just
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a classic.
You have to be cordial. You have to be cordial, but you don't have to be.
See, men don't.
Cordial,
men don't have to be cordial. I feel.
No, I just shake a guy's hand.
But even if a guy you hate, you'd be like,
I'd be
nice,
man. I'd still be nice.
You know what I mean? Like you'd be cordial, but it'd be quick.
I'd still be competitors. Business competitors that I've met, out and about or something like that, and I'll see them around. I make a point to go up and say hi to them.
But do you chat for a long time?
No. I'm just like, hey man, what's up? I just saw you over here. Just wanted to say hey real quick. And
that's differentiation.
I cut the awkwardness out because otherwise you're playing this game where everybody's like kind of looking over at each other, and I just go straight for the fucking throat. I'm just like, hey man, what's up?
For the kill.
Just saw what and I'd rather be nice in that way, and then just get it over with.
That's kind of how I am too.
I'd rather move off now.
Like I trust my ability to handle uncomfortable situations more than I trust other people's ability to handle uncomfortable situations. I'll just go and initiate it immediately.
Yeah. I would rather initiate it, take care of it, move on with my life. The awkwardness is over. Now I'm moving forward.
Yeah, for example, my fantasy football group, there's these two guys that got caught trying to cheat in it. Yeah. And, they're in the battle this week for the third place match. And me and the other guy are in the battle for first place. So I told the guy that I'm going against, I was like, hey, man, good luck. And to the other two guys, hey, fuck you two. There's a reason you guys are going for a third because you're a bunch of cheating pussies.
There you go.
That's something guys can do. Women can't do that.
No, they can't. That's true. They won't do that.
And they're not allowed in next year.
That's what I'm saying. Fuck them. Calvin in there. Fuck you.
Ouch. Sorry, guys. So much anger from this guy.
Yeah, I know. It's fantasy
so many
football.
F-bombs, guys. Jeez.
Oh, don't even.
So many F-bombs.
But you know what this attitude kind of reminds me of is those people that will take the when we talk about being able to take a day off and not overtraining.
Yes.
And and being practical with it.
Yeah.
The same people that are saying, "Oh, you're body positive, you're beautiful," all that are the same people that is going to take every excuse that they can not to go to the gym.
That is the real problem. right? That you're running down into. And then I find the same problem myself when I talk about fitness. Because there is on one side of the fitness equation, there is the body positivity, give yourself a pat on the back. You did a great job. Like you're trying, blah, blah, blah. On the other side, to get results, you have to actually like have fucking discipline and work your ass off. Like to get the results you want, if they're extreme results, it means consistency, work. You don't feel like going to the gym, you go to the gym. You don't feel like eating your diet food, you eat your diet food. You had a bad day, you still fucking eat the same thing. Like it doesn't matter. And that's what it actually takes. And it's hard to reconcile the two because one of them is discipline and the other one is still recognizing like that you had discipline and like being positive for it and stuff like that. And so I find that, yes, the mistake most people make is that the body positivity leads to laziness, easily giving up, being proud of like, well, at least I went to the gym, twice this week, or at least I didn't eat that, Big Mac, well, instead of like, well, you set your plan, here's your plan, and you're not even following it. So I think that is the tough thing to reconcile for people. But again, the answer is it depends on where they're at, right? If somebody is just crushed and can't stick to anything, it's much better for them to set really low expectations and to build discipline over time than it is. Like I wrote an email the other day and it was about why you should never hit the snooze button. And there's a lot of reasons why you should never hit the snooze button. You go back into a sleep cycle that you've already exited your sleep cycle. Now you're going to mess up your sleep cycle. You're not going to get a full sleep cycle. They're like 90 to 180 minutes or something, right? So you hit the snooze button, you start going back down. Now you're going to wake up more groggy. You're going to be, slow to get started, blah, 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 all these things. But the real one is that when you hit the snooze button, if you meant to get up at 7 and you hit the snooze button, you get up at 7:10 or something like that, you're really just like reinforcing this
like
lack of discipline, right? Lack of discipline. And so if you can't like by planning to get up at 7, but then delaying till 7:10, that lack of discipline starts to embed itself in your life everywhere. And I think it slowly starts to ease into everything. So the body positivity movement has to reconcile that side.
Have you ever hit fitness rock bottom? Is what I want to call it.
With what?
Just like, I guess it would be like mental, like rock bottom. Just like, you just don't have any motivation. Like you're so down on yourself. You don't have any motivation to get up and do anything in any like sort of, I guess, what's the word? Like any opportunity you have to try to like, you're doing like, you're doing this very shittily. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. And it just seems more like piling on.
Yeah.
So there a lot of those people.
Have I ever hit rock bottom like that?
Yeah.
No, never once.
Never once. What about you, John?
There's been times I've been disappointed in the way that I've looked, but it fueled a fire of working harder rather than a fire of self-pity.
So I guess that just comes into playing the victim mentality or not. It's like whether or not you have the victim mentality or not.
Yeah, I would just say
it's a victim mentality.
Sorry for yourself, man.
Yeah,
you can look in the mirror right now and see tons of positive things, or you can look in the mirror and see tons of negative things.
I could take any person in any situation and help them make small, better choices that one would increase discipline and two would also increase their fitness with what they're working with currently. So when people say there's no excuse, there's really no excuse because regardless of what you do, you're a single mom working with, 18-hour days or something like that. And you just barely have enough time to sleep, right? You still got to eat. You still got to make choices on what you're going to eat. Yeah. You can still make a plan and stick to it. All of these things can start being implemented with what you're doing currently. So you could take anybody in any situation, improve discipline and improve fitness without extra work for the most part.
And I feel like there's ways to do it without like completely going in head first. Because a lot of the thing now that I guess victim, like people that kind of make excuses for why they don't reach their goals is and we do the same thing. I mean, there's those influencer guys or motivator guys have just unrealistic sayings, unrealistic expectations. Just make it so easy to say, look at this fucking idiot. Yeah. Like there was one the other day saying like, it was like, I don't want to mess this quote up. It was, now I won't even use it because it was a matter of saying like, slaves worked 18 hours a day. So like, why can't you?
That's fair.
It was basically something like that. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the whole point of fitness and health and all that is to make your life more enjoyable.
Yeah.
But I feel like some people get caught up in like getting so.
Some people play it. Some people play it like a video game, right? Like whoever collects the most coins wins. Like at the end of my life, if I had the most achievements, I leveled my character up the most, I collected the most coins, like I won the video game of life, right? obviously there's no winner. So, that's just how some people are programmed and that kind of thing.
And do you think it's always been that way?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think there's always been that way. It's been pushed more. Social media has definitely pushed this through most people's minds, and I agree to a lot of people say that the old saying where there's a will there's a way, or if you want it bad enough you can achieve it. I do agree that like people that want to achieve a goal most of the time can find a way if they want it bad enough to achieve it. Take away the outside circumstances of bad luck or not if you're 4 foot tall, you're not going to be a basketball player, stuff like that. Take some of those things away. But I find what it really comes down to for all these people is a hierarchy of what's most important in your life. Mm-hmm. Right. And so what's most important, what in now and in long term, what's the most important? I find most people, whenever it comes down to it, whenever it sticks to their fitness goals, what is most important is the comfort in the right now. And so they're not able to switch the goal or switch the hierarchy of what's most important in their life, because if they switched it, they would just switch fitness to the top and they would say, well, this is my, anything I'm going to do needs to match up with this. Like, so if I'm going to eat today, it's got to match up with this. If I'm going to do anything today, it's got to match up with this, because that's just the number one most important thing in their life. That's how I lived for a long time. It's the reason I can put this into perspective is because for me, that was pretty much it. Like, other than like, business and family and some of like those big things that you have to take care of. And, when shit hits the fan, they become number one. But like your day-to-day life, when you're just like living life, like fitness was number one for me. Right. And so everything that I ate, I followed the plan. Everything, when I worked out, I followed the plan. I had my workouts done. And I think that when I got out of bodybuilding and I found myself a little lazier, I found myself skipping workouts, I found myself doing those things, I started to recognize that like this no longer had the slot of importance that it used to have. And that's why I wasn't able to stick to it to the same degree. You have to then find, your why, some of those reasons why you would do what you do.
You were honest with yourself.
And I was honest with myself. Yeah. And so I was, it was just this wasn't as important. And so maybe what is important, and so I look back at it and there are benefits to the discipline. The discipline definitely enhances my life. Fitness as a template for your life, absolutely beneficial. You get up at the same time, go to sleep at the same time, eat the same meals, digestion's good, workouts are good. Like it's great for your life in every way, except for when you get obsessed. Right. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what it comes down to, is that hierarchy of goals that people have whenever they can't figure out how to stick to their diet. It's because eating this thing that tastes good right now is more important than the fitness goal.
And that's an interesting way to put it, because I don't know, at least it makes sense to me. It's like, is that donut more important than you looking in the mirror tomorrow? I know maybe that's not a healthy way to view it.
It may not
but
be.
It is a realistic way to view it.
It's a realistic way.
And for sure. Those decisions are actually, I don't know.
I would say, take it away from the donut and say, you're saving up for a car and you see something that you want to buy. And you're like, the same question comes to yourself. Do I want to spend my money here or do I want to save up for my car? Now, I don't think that's a bad question to ask. That's a realistic question. Like, I need to save up for my car.
Exactly.
So you only have so many calories to spend, just like you have so much money to spend. And so you can only spend so much per day. Is this donut where I want to spend that money? Yeah. Otherwise, I'm going to go in debt. I'm going to get fat, whatever it is. And so there's all sorts of those things. But I think it's literally this, subconscious to some degree. If you can make it conscious, then I think you can overcome it. Sure. Which goal is more important? For some people, it's like it's the being comfortable on the couch is more important than going to the gym. Like, oh man, I just don't want to fucking move. I'm so tired. And so they just lay there. And so that's the most important thing at the moment. And I think these things change. That's why Monday morning we can be gung ho for fucking fitness and have our meals prepped. And then by Thursday, we're laying on the couch saying, fuck it. Friday, we're saying, fuck it, I don't want to go to the gym anymore.
Try again next week.
So I think those things change. And if you can see that they change every day, then it's possible for you to change them. Right. It's possible if they change on their own. It's possible for you to constantly realign this goal, constantly come back to what is most important. And that's how the discipline is made. That's how discipline becomes this superpower where people that actually say they're going to do something, just fucking do it. Yeah. Like they don't say it and then like come around to it like, well, I said that, but I don't really want to go anymore.
And if you're actually one of those people that does what they say they do, you won't have to worry about body positivity.
No, you
will have the confidence of having a good body.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't hear,
there's definitely bodybuilders and people that are still like obviously broken inside.
That's like a dysphoria thing, but you know what I mean? Like healthy people,
dysphoria.
you don't hear them saying, like, I wish, like they're just content with what they have.
Yeah, for sure. The discipline is the hard thing, but very rewarding at the same time. Very rewarding. So it can be tied to anything.
So what are some like misconceptions that a lot of people may get off of social media about fitness and whatnot? Because a lot of this roots from perception and like social media and whatnot.
Social media ruined fitness. I know. I've said this before, but I grew up when social media wasn't around and there was magazines and there was forums. So the internet was still there and you had digital cameras and like all this stuff. So people were posting pictures and like there was a hierarchy to the forums. Like you went on the bodybuilding forums and like there were the experts that knew what the fuck they were talking about. And there were the admins and the moderators. And like they made sure that the forum ran a specific way. Like we know what we're talking about. We've been working out for 20 years. And if you come in here spouting bullshit, we're going to call you on it.
I was just about to say, would it be fair to say that certain people's opinions mattered more?
Yeah, certain people's opinions. Like if you had results, it mattered.
God, I miss those days.
And so, some kid could come in there and do his first show and, do his first cycle of tests and look pretty decent. And those guys would smack him and, just bitch slap him back to reality. Like, bro, you ain't done shit yet, and social media, unfortunately, praised those people instead and really just threw the whole thing out. Like the influencer movement through fitness has been one of the greatest things for business and for the development of the influencer industry on social media, but also absolutely crushed what fitness used to be. And in some ways, that's great. There's more people working out than ever. On the other side, there's more people that are doing that just for social media fame than ever and doing that for the social media look. And the sad part is you don't realize that bro on the internet's on fucking steroids, and the chick that you're watching is also taking what I'm saying. Fat burners.
It's such a shame that all opinions have the same volume of voice now. And we're so insane.
The chicks that are competing in bodybuilding shows and these chicks that look really good. Well, number one, you got to compare. Did they get their boobs done? Number one, you have to think about the things that you're not comparing in the first place. If they're willing to pay for that, what else are they willing to pay for? Are they willing to pay for the drugs? Like I don't. If you're willing to get boobs, is clenbuterol a fat burner, a legal fat burner? Big deal? Probably not. Like, would you use that to your advantage if it made you look better on social media? Probably. Most of these chicks, most of these guys are using things they're not telling you about. So you think, this guy's 24. I'm 24. I'm 25. Whatever. This guy looks pretty good. I could look like that, right? So you start working out. You're like following his diet, doing all this shit. You had no idea this dude's running more steroids than some bodybuilders are. And that's why he's looking the way. It's not his workouts. It's not his diet. So social media has really brought a normalcy of the way that people look. The extremely good looking fitness influencers seem like it's much more attainable than it is for the average person. If that makes sense.
Do you think that contributes to the mass mental health issues we have and body image issues and whatnot?
It's probably just a symptom of the issues. To be fair, I doubt they're probably causing them. I think those issues are probably already there. But yeah, I'm sure there's all sorts of it. But it gives people an unhealthy, expectation of what they can get. But on the other side, it does give you a cool expectation. Like if you see somebody that's lost a bunch of weight, like TikTok's great, man. You see people that lost 200 pounds. That's a very realistic thing that other people can do. So, it's a double-edged sword. There's good and bad on both for sure. I still claim it ruined the fitness industry. I'm really only looking at the bodybuilding industry. I'm really only looking at the influencers at high levels, like all of that stuff. I think most people could do without and be fine with fitness, but it came with all the good stuff, millions and millions of people exercising, being in the gym, more and more supplement brands than ever.
You say more people are working out than ever. Do you think more people are staying working out than ever?
Yeah. I think there's more people than ever. I think that the more it's in social media, the more often people are going to work out. Yeah.
Well, I just meant if you took like the amount of people that work out based on the people that stay working out.
Yeah.
10 years ago versus now, do you think that has any effect on it? People like going in there.
How long they stay, I have no idea.
Just like going in there, having an expectation of what they think they can achieve and then being like, oh shit, maybe this isn't what I thought it was. And then just fuck it, whatever.
I don't know. I don't know what the expectations were for people. I mean, when I was doing bodybuilding, when I was growing up, the expectation was first you try to get huge, then you do a bodybuilding show, and then it changed at a certain point to I'm going to work out to do a bodybuilding show, where it was just never that way. Like my mindset, I had to have people almost like convince me to do my first show. So it's like, I'm not ready. I'm not big enough yet. I'm not ready yet. I'm not big enough. I need to put more size on there. Like, dude, just do it. Just get it done with. was like, okay. So I finally did, and they were right. I should have done it. And but that was kind of the stigma, like especially on those forums. Like you went there, and they're like, those guys wanted you to have the right information, to not spout out bullshit, to know what actually built muscle and burned fat, and what to eat, and what was bullshit, what mattered, what didn't, what supplements to take. Now it's just like you're on Instagram, and every fucking person's recommending something for you, and you cannot possibly keep up with. Do this for your glutes. Do this for your hips. Do this for your, take this supplement.
Right.
Do this for your scapular health. Do this to build, big biceps. Like, God, you just can't keep up. There's too much information. I don't think it's that complex. I think people make this shit so complex because they want to seem like they've got some secret or something special. But I think the real experts know it's fucking simple. So,
obviously the popularity on social media has gone up with fitness, but so has the popularity of like home gyms.
Sure.
Can you take me through the quintessential pieces of equipment needed for a good home gym, if that's something you're wanting to do?
Yeah. I mean, you could get away. The best home gym, in my opinion, if you were trying to get away with it for as cheap as possible, would be a squat rack with a bench, with a barbell and some weights. I think you can get away with most things for that. If you can add in squat rack, bench, barbell, if you can add in a dumbbell set, even if it's adjustable, I think you can do everything.
What about bands?
They're so cheap you can add them in. Uh-huh. No reason not to. Like you could add those in so easily. So, but that's probably it. I mean, you can get so much further into things where you could go, a lat pull down machine, or I need a calf machine, or but best bang for your buck, squat machine, weights, and adjust bench press, a bench to be on.
Adjustable barbells.
Adjustable dumbbells. And that's it. So that would be how you do it at home. At home, I've worked out at home before, and some people are great. Like some people love working out at home. They can work out for hours, and they're just always there. Me, I feel like I get more done at the gym. I feel like if I'm at the gym, I've got this time frame window. I'm here for an hour.
Do you think part of that comes to having like the family and the kids at home?
Yeah, probably. I probably could have worked out, but at the same time, it used to be like when I was bodybuilding and I didn't have the kids as much. It was the social aspect. I liked going to the gym because I liked seeing the people that I knew as like my friends. Like, hey, we work out next to each other. We're friends. Mm-hmm. I've talked to you like 12 times. So those are my friends. So yeah. I would go for the social aspect as well, but you can't beat the convenience of working out at home. Like no time, you can do it like while you're doing anything else. For the most part, you watch TV and work out. My dad watches TV and works out all the time. So I think you can get away with less. You could get away with a kettlebell if you wanted to at home. You can get away with nothing and just bands, or just a pull-up bar or something. But if I was going for like best all-inclusive setup, it would be that.
Dude, I got a pretty good pump at home with one of my workouts. There's one day I was like, dude.
Yeah. What are you doing?
I need to go to the gym, but fuck. And then I got home and I'm like, you're a piece of shit. Why didn't you just go to the gym? So
that's it. Yeah. that body positivity right there.
Yeah. It's like, God, you piece of shit. So then I got like a bunch of Nutrithority, like the ones that I have at home to like do photos of and whatnot. Yeah. I have like 3 of them there. And I put them in a Yeti cooler, like one of those that has a string like this.
Yeah.
So then I was using that for like curls. Mm-hmm. I'd go up in my hand for like tricep extensions.
Should have just gone to the gym.
Did I know? Then I was doing push-ups, lunges, squats. And then I was utilizing like the door frame to like do like inclined like push-ups almost to get like upper chest.
Yeah.
And I got a pretty good pump off of it. It worked out well. Yeah.
You can get a pump. I mean, the question would be, does the pump necessarily make you build muscle?
No, probably not.
No, not. I mean, maybe a little bit, not as much as tearing the muscle down.
Yeah, does the pump help whatsoever? Because I would feel like it would do something with like the.
It does, yeah. The pump helps, but it's less important than most people think.
Can you like gain muscle just by like flexing hard?
No.
You can't rip your muscle by like contracting it hard enough?
No, I don't think so. They had those. You remember those machines that you could like hook up, like the ab machine that you'd put on as a belt. Mm-hmm. And then it would like tens unit, like cramp your abs almost.
Yeah.
They don't work.
Trust me, bro. If there was a fitness thing that worked with no effort, they would be monetized.
They've actually done it. You know what it is? It's called Ozempic, and every fucking person's on it right now. It's crazy.
I forgot about
Ozempic, dude. I watched celebrities, and I'm like, damn. Like I know a lady here in town that lost like almost 50 pounds, And she's like telling everybody, like, I've lost almost 50 pounds. And on Facebook, and everybody's like, oh my God.
She's celebrating her body positive.
And then she's like, I feel so much better. I've lost 50 pounds. I've been watching what I eat. I've been exercising a little bit. I'm like, don't you fucking lie to these people. Stop lying.
Yeah, see, that's
what are the negatives on Ozempic?
Well, allegedly. Whoever owns the pharmaceutical companies, I don't know this for sure. So it's the stomach issues that come along with it. So they have problems with vomiting.
Mm-hmm.
That's happened even a year after discontinuing use, like cyclical vomiting. They have problems with their stomach not moving, like gastric motility.
Mm-hmm.
Like it won't move and like won't digest food. And you've had like food just sitting there for like days that like starts becoming an issue, right? So that's the main issues that they're running into right now. Now, for the lady I'm talking about, losing 50 pounds, she's still got another 50 or more to go, right? And so for her, Ozempic's absolutely worthwhile. Like she was never going to lose weight on her own. So that's the best way she could go. She had a lot of weight to lose. And so it drives me a little crazy when they just don't fucking say, yeah, and I'm taking Ozempic.
Gotcha. I was just about to say,
just be honest. Just be like, oh, I am trying to watch, but you know what? Ozempic makes it so much easier for me to watch what I'm eating, and it helped me to get back into the gym because I lost 30 pounds so easily, and blah, blah. That's the truth.
If you think Ozempic works well, you should try some thermogenic flux.
That's right. It is no pharmaceutical drug. It will not do what pharmaceuticals do, unfortunately. But also not going to fuck your stomach. So.
Women lying about that. It's like men lying about stolen valor in the military.
Yeah, there's some. There's some though.
But I mean, really though, like that's just so pathetic to me to use a drug and then not mention it.
Yeah,
try to take credit for it.
I mean, I guess guys do it with steroids plenty of times.
Yeah,
so.
But if you be like, hey.
Oh yeah, most of them would be like
if you give them like the wink, wink, like nudge, nudge, they'll be like, yeah.
There may be a legality issue that's coming into it, but I think there's still, I don't know, I think it's a shame issue because it's funny. You can pretty much take it to the bank that if any bodybuilder ever tells you how much they're taking, you should double or triple it because they're lying to you. Like they don't want the steroids to take the credit of their hard work because they did have to work hard to get there. And people are like, oh, you just took steroids. That's it. And it's like, well, no, I did watch my diet and I did work out incredibly hard. And I've lived a dedicated life to this for 10 years. But the steroids are, of course, going to help.
Here's the thing that I think people don't consider is like, it would take a lot for me to at least stick a needle in my arm or ass for like 2 or 3 times a week. Like that's a lot. Like,
that does take some. Yeah, that is some dedication. So I think that's the same with women. They don't want Ozempic to be or it could be anybody, not just women, just the girl I was talking about. But it could be that they don't want that to take the credit. But like it's definitely doing the work. Like that 100% it's doing the work. Like the steroids they work, but they're not doing all of the work for you. Like that. It's not the same.
So we're kind of rolling into the new year.
Yeah. New me.
New year, new me.
Yeah. What's your New Year's resolution, John?
I think I'm going to read some books.
How many?
No, 3 or 4.
3 or 4 for the year. That's lofty.
Yeah.
1 a quarter.
1 a quarter.
Well, going from none for the past 30, 2 decades.
Something. Yeah.
And 0 for the past 20 years to 4 in 1 year is pretty good.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a 400% increase.
Have you been reading?
Rock with the percentages. I have. Well, I read a lot, but not like
Like, have you read like books anytime recently?
Not really.
High school.
I'll be curious.
Nothing from start to finish.
Yeah, I'll be curious how the attention goes. How you stay attended to the story, because I found whenever I got back into reading, like we've taken breaks, right? Especially fiction books. It takes me a while to get to the point where I used to be as a kid, where you just saw the pictures flying through your head. And you're just like, you're reading, but like, it's really the pictures flying through your head. It's almost like for a long time, it took me just reading the friggin' words.
Well, yeah.
And like the pictures wouldn't fly. And so I think that, and like you get distracted and you start like zoning out.
You're probably reading way cooler books though. Like, like if you're reading like Chronicles of Narnia, like you're going to get way cooler pictures and like,
for sure.
I'm going to be reading like a Marcus Aurelius book.
Oh yeah. You're not going to get
pictures. There's no pictures coming from
you're talking different books than I was talking.
That's what I mean though.
I was talking storybooks. You're talking the nonfiction. Nonfiction's my style.
I've got The Art of War coming up by
Sun Tzu.
Yeah, Sun Tzu.
I've never read The Art of War. Maybe I should.
I'll let you know what you're missing out on.
Yeah. I've read a few good ones, but
let's see. What are like the what do you think the 10 most like suggested books are?
The 10 most suggested for what?
Just in general, like
the Bible, number one.
Bible. Let's do 10 most popular books.
10 most popular books of all time.
Yeah,
Bible. Bible's number one by far.
It certainly is.
After that, I don't really care. It's Harry Potter or something.
Yeah, it's going to be a bunch of.
Okay, so
all of a twist.
All of a twist.
Okay, so number one, we have. This is funny. We have the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have quotations from Chairman Mao Zedong, the Little Red Book collection.
Really?
Oh,
Mao Zedong. Yeah.
Wow, that's number two book.
Number two.
Yeah.
How to Kill Millions.
The Bible's number one, and that's number two. How ironic.
Both responsible for killing millions over time. So, just think about the worldwide flood. Just whoosh.
Don Quixote.
Quixote. Yep.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Fuck off, John.
I've never read it.
John.
That's going to age so well.
Fuck off, John.
Don Quixote. Don Quixote.
Number 4 is the Harry Potter series.
Yep.
Then we have 5, The Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Then we have A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens.
But even when I read the Harry Potter, or anything like that right now, because I don't read a lot of nonfiction.
Mm-hmm.
I find that the pictures that I used to get in my head were so much more vivid when I was a kid. And now I find that maybe I read more for the words and understanding, but I just don't let the words flow. And maybe something like that. Because I read one of the Lord of the Rings books not that long ago, but I'm just a nonfiction guy.
Those are pretty thick, though, man. I love Lord of the Rings, but they're not easy reads.
No, they're not. They're not. But you should be able to see the picture. There's just something broken in my brain, I think. So those pictures are gone. I guess I think I'm gonna have to read more fiction.
The Hobbit, especially, is brutal.
Yeah,
for that. I just remember thinking, I love Tolkien, but it
wasn't
wordy,
okay.
man.
Yeah. Number 7, we have The Alchemist, and number 8, I know this one
Paulo Cohen.
Yep. Number 8, I know this one's has a special place in your heart, John. The Da Vinci Code.
I love the Da Vinci Code.
I read the Da Vinci Code.
Donna paid me $50 to not go see the Da Vinci Code.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, that's easy as $50.
Does she think the Freemasons are like an evil organization?
Oh, I don't think she believes any of it. She just didn't want me to see it.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
And honestly, I remember thinking, I was like, it didn't look that good.
And
so I literally
the book was really good, and then I don't know if I even saw the movie.
I literally dropped people off at the theater, went and chilled for like an hour and a half with someone else, and picked them back up.
Okay.
And made $50.
There you go.
Still haven't seen it, by the way, Donna.
I should be so proud of you.
Fuck Tom Hanks.
Whoa.
I said it.
Tom Hanks. He liked Wilson on the cast.
He did. Honestly, I always liked Tom Hanks, and then the Ricky Gervais speech happened, and he looked so pissed off about what Ricky Gervais was saying. I was like, I bet Tom Hanks has done some pretty heinous shit.
Speaking of Tom Hanks and heinous shit,
see like the Balenciaga Epstein stuff in his face.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, speaking of Tom Hanks and obscene shit.
That was part of the conspiracy theories going around in 2020. Tom Hanks for sure
was part of the Epstein list or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, apparently that's getting released after the new year with only 4 names being redacted.
Yeah, I'll believe that when I fucking see it.
No fucking way.
Bro.
There's no chance.
Yeah, the 4 people are gonna.
If that list is released, that's the list of the people they did not give a fuck about.
Exactly.
Like, there's no real list getting released. This is the fake list with names you've never heard of. Here you go. But just to appease the layman's here.
I think that list would tell us as much about what we need to know about the actual list, just because of like who they're willing to just say, oh, these guys aren't involved in it. It's like who are they willing to throw under the rug just to be like, all right, well,
maybe so. I just I do not see. In the world we currently live in, them giving up the elites, the oligarchs that run the world.
No, why would they? Well, I have one more topic.
No, 9 and 10. Was that their Da Vinci Code? Top 10 books.
Yeah, 9 and 10.
So 9 and 10 would be The Catcher in the Rye.
Okay, never read it.
Still never read it.
And then, that's 9. And then number 10 would be The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. The Alchemist is a really good one. You should read that one.
If I'm being honest, that was a very disappointing top 10 list.
Yeah, it's you're going like worldwide for all time. So some shitty picks on there. But The Alchemist was great.
How did Mao Zedong get number 2? I think it's just based on just pure population. Like it's probably like part of their like required readings.
Probably required. Like you must every citizen must purchase this book.
Yeah. So. Reminds me of like college campuses. And
or else you're not allowed to eat this month if you don't read. You don't read your book. It's their Bible. They're forced to read over there.
It reminds me of how college campuses make you buy like the professor's
their own textbook or whatever. Yeah. For sure.
So going into the new year, We're gonna have a lot of new people at the gym with their New Year's resolutions and John and his reading. What a nerd!
Yeah,
and
nerd for sure.
What are some good do's and don'ts of gym etiquette that people may not consider?
I personally like to just sweat on everything and never wipe it off. So I think
that was my question. Do you have to wipe it do you have to wipe it down every time?
There are some people, that every time before and after they get on, I watch them. They clean the whole thing before they get on it, and then they clean it right afterwards too. And I am not that clean of a person, I guess. No. I sometimes if it's gross, or if I notice somebody's going to use it right after me, I'll make an attempt to go clean it off. Like if it's gross, but if you can't look at it and it looks dirty, I'm not going to clean it. So, like, did I even sweat here? Like, if I don't see my butt crack whenever I get up, like on the bench, did I even sweat?
Like if I smell the seat and I can't smell it, then we're good.
Yeah. Like I get down there.
We're good.
Nope. There's no butt here.
Gives me a headache just thinking about it. I'll
let you smell it next time.
The biggest thing for me, I have two major complaints. Okay. One of them I'll keep quick. One, don't do exercises in front of the weight rack.
Okay.
I see people.
So you got to give yourself a little space.
Yes. Yeah. I see people doing that all the time. Whether it's dudes doing shrugs with like heavier dumbbells, or girls doing like delt raises with the light ones.
Yep.
Get at least 3 or 4 steps back from the weight rack, because I have to go get weights in between you, and it's so awkward.
That's the walking path right there.
Yes.
Do not stand in the walking path in front of the dumbbells.
If you're 4 feet from the mirror, step back.
Yeah, step back.
All right, and this one's for the broccoli-haired, croc-wearing pajama kids. All right.
Okay.
I don't mind. You don't have to be working out the whole time you're on a machine. If you take a phone break for longer than 2 minutes, you're a huge problem.
Yeah.
You just need to know that. People in the gym want to get home.
That's fair.
A lot of people want to get home. Some people get there and want to chill. And I respect it, honestly.
Yeah, they got nothing else going on.
But dude, you gotta either use it or let people work
lose it, bro.
Yeah, that would have been better. Let people work in at least if you're gonna sit on your damn phone.
Yeah. I mean, all it comes down to is just paying attention to what other people are doing. Like there's an etiquette.
Considerate.
Yeah, there's an etiquette. You're in a new country. You're in a new culture. Just not going to just go in there and just act like you would normally act. You start paying attention to what everybody else is doing. Oh, you pick up your weights, you put them back, you clean off your machine if you got nasty sweat on it. You wait your turn. If you need to use a machine, you ask somebody to work it. I mean, it's not that complex. I would say don't put your towel on a machine and then go try and like do a circuit of like 3 different machines.
Yes. I'll grab your towel and move your
every
towel.
time. Yeah. Every time I'll move your towel. You'll come back and you'll look at me weird and I'll go, oh, I didn't even think you were on here, And then I will keep working out. I remember, like, you can work in with me though if you want. Like, we can jump back and forth. Like,
you want to work in, bro?
Yeah, you can work in. Like, I have no problem. But I will be using this machine. So, like, just so you know.
I remember came up to a machine. A lady was literally using the one next to it, and looks at me and goes, "I'm using that."
Yeah,
like she's using another one. I'm so embarrassed for her.
Yeah,
but I just ignored her and kept living my life.
That's the answer.
And started using the machine, but it's appalling.
Yeah, that's the answer. Is
like, actually, ma'am, you're using that machine.
The answer is to just go ahead and do it anyway.
She ought to know better. I expect more from older people, and obviously Brock disagrees.
Yeah.
In the words of Conor McGregor, what the fuck are you going to do about
it? What the fuck?
No, I think you should just go ahead and use the machine. If you really can't hog 3 machines at the same time, supersets, maybe you could do 2, but like, even
COVID got people wilding out, bro. There's people like blocking off their own little sections with their bags and the benches.
So what you got to do is you got to set up like on the cable machines. You know how there's like. They got like the big arch in the middle, and then you can do pull-ups there, and then there's like cables on each side.
Yeah.
What you do is you set up one for curls and the other one for tricep pull-down. You just go with one and rep those out, then you go.
That reminds me.
You could do that. I mean, if there's enough open spaces, I don't care. But like once you see it getting busy, that freedom goes away.
Yeah.
That reminds me of another one. Curls in the squat rack.
Yeah.
Like
there's not many curls in the squat rack.
No, but you have full workouts in the squat rack now.
For sure. There are full workouts.
And I don't do legs, so I don't care. But
he did for a week.
That's 2 weeks. But in the lot, like, dude, you're just screwing everyone else out, everything else. You don't need that to do curls.
No, you don't.
Like you do 3 sets of 10 on squats and then sit there for another 45 minutes doing the rest of your workout. Like
I got a few for you. So these are all pretty basic. The first one in the mornings, brush your teeth before you come to the gym. That's number 1. Like it's easy to not brush your teeth.
Who
Like,
you getting that close to in the gym?
Sometimes you can smell it from feet away, is what I'm saying. Like,
oh damn,
like you don't want to smell that stuff, or you just go talk to somebody. Like you're walking past them, and somehow they like see you, and you're like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" You never know who you're gonna run into in the gym, and your breath is terrible. Like, well, just brush. I get up first thing, and I just walk over there, and I put a little toothpaste on my toothbrush, and I just go through it for. Even if it's 45 seconds, I got the nasty smell out of my mouth. And then I'm going to brush again later once I actually go to work.
That's bullshit. He's not going to brush again later.
I brush after. Yeah, I brush every time I get in the shower. So if I take 2 showers
in the shower,
no, I don't. I brush them before I go to work, and then before I go to the workout, and then I brush them before I go to work, which is after the shower.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you do it twice in the morning?
Twice in the morning. Yeah.
Look at this guy and his clean teeth.
My dental hygienist said there was not much to clean on my teeth, so just,
Did it cost less?
No. I have not had a cavity as an adult. In my adult teeth, I have not had a cavity. It's crazy.
I'm pretty sure I have.
I thought I did. And then I was like, no, I'm sure I've had a cavity. And they're like looking at my teeth. They're like, you haven't had a cavity. And I'm like, okay, I guess not. I had them as a kid all the time. So
got him out of the way.
Yeah, for sure. My dad gave me some fluorine stuff. Maybe that was fluoride stuff.
It's in the water.
Yeah. So who knows?
I drink tap water and I don't get cavities.
There you go. Other than brushing your teeth, wear deodorant. That's number 2. Mm-hmm. Easy to forget in the mornings. Again, like if you're a first time in the morning, you get up, just put your clothes on and you go to the gym, you can have nasty breath. And like once you start sweating, everybody's smelling you, right? Women don't need to do a full face of makeup before you go to the gym. That's one other one. Also, nobody cares. Nobody cares if you look ugly while you're working out. That's the point here. So
how are you going to complain about getting hit on while you're working out and then like go on and throw a full face of makeup?
They'll put a full face of makeup on and wear like a sports bra and like little, yoga pants or something like that. I'm like, are you here to work out or are you here for like a photo shoot or something? It's just
sometimes they're there to meet Mr. Right.
They might, especially at the higher end clubs. That'd probably be a good one to go for.
Yeah, that is a good idea.
Hang out there, find the old guys. There's plenty of them. They got nothing else to do, work out. So those would be my main ones. Otherwise, it's really just pay attention. There's really nothing. Nobody cares. The people that are, if you're in the gym, like, most people are not douchebags. Most people don't care. Like, don't be afraid of people. Just try to follow their lead, clean up after yourself. Don't take up space you don't need to take up, and everybody's fine.
I would definitely say if you actually have a question,
absolutely
ask someone.
Yes.
Because I don't know why. It's like bikers and like gym rats and some like for some reason, it seems like there's like a negative, like kind of a douchebag stereotype.
Not at all.
And it's really like the total opposite. Yeah. Almost, I mean, obviously there's exceptions. You have a huge community, but dude, 99% of the guys I've met in the gym are like super cool and want to help you. They would love for you to ask them a question.
Ask like, if you see a machine, you don't know how it works. You'd be like, hey, this is a weird question, but like, can you show me how this thing works? Oh yeah, here, come here real quick. They'll just show you how everything works. Like it's people in the gym are very friendly. Yeah, like, you don't have to be intimidated.
I know it's cheesy, but it's so true, man. Everyone started like at nowhere in that fitness journey. Like when you see someone bigger than you, I remember someone saying it, and I always like this, like they're not like better at that. They've been doing it longer.
That's fair,
and they're probably better at it.
And they're better.
All right. Well, thanks for shitting on my.
They're better than you.
But you have a chance, at least, if you keep doing it.
That's true. That's true.
You have a better chance at catching him than catching a ball like Justin Jefferson.
I don't know who that is.
I mean, I could help you out, but
that's okay. Don't worry about it. Sports ball. I got it.
It's one of the top receivers in the NFL.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Well, all I was trying to say is it's the gap between the gym bro and the NFL player is a lot different. So
true.
Yeah. No. Everybody felt awkward. Everybody still feels awkward in the gym a lot of times. So
also remember, no one's staring at you.
They don't care.
I promise no one's
unless you're wearing,
unless you're hot,
unless you're trying to show off your body. And then like, did you not welcome it?
Yeah. And at that point,
we love victim blaming.
I'm not victim blaming. If you don't want people to stare at your ass at the gym, don't wear something that highlights your ass. Right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, I don't want anybody to stare at my crotch, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to stuff it with like some socks and then I'm going to wear really, really tight, like flamboyant pants. And then I'm going to say, don't stare at my crotch though. I mean, everybody's going to be walking by like, what the fuck? Why does this guy have this? Like,
you're just trying to teach discipline as well.
That's it. And so I'm just like, don't stop. stop staring at my crotch. This is awkward. And it's because it's out there, it's flamboyant, and you wore something very specifically to try and get people to look at your ass.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't like it, wear sweatpants. You know, I don't really care. I'm not going there. I wear sweatpants. I wear some shorts that like go past my knees sometimes, like the old basketball style. Like they're ridiculously embarrassing. I'm not
Adam
here.
Sandler style.
Yeah, Adam Sandler style. I'm not there to
Full
do
circle,
anything,
baby.
but work out. So I'm not too worried. Most of my shirts are just whatever shirt I have in my closet that's a throwaway shirt that I just am going to wear for an hour.
First clean Ron Paul shirt you see is what you grab.
Yeah, bro.
Beautiful.
I only have one of these, I think. Maybe two. Maybe I have a Ron Paul shirt. I have a Rand Paul shirt, too.
The whole Paul
The whole family.
I'm a fan. I got Mama Paul's cookbook, too.
Wow.
Ron Paul's wife had a cookbook in one of his first times he was running for
Nothing
president.
from the father.
He's the father. Like Ron Paul is the father. His wife had a cookbook.
Oh, I got you.
His wife had a cookbook, and we've made some recipes out of it. And it was like, if you bought the cookbook, it was like a donation to the campaign. So I just bought the cookbook, and it was like $20 or something.
They have good recipes.
Yeah, it's like if you wanted to be really fat, like you would eat everything out of this cook. That's the kind of cooking it is.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah. So no, I bought Ron Paul books. I've read Rand Paul books.
What about Logan and Jake Paul? You got anything from them?
I've tried the what's the drink that they have?
Prime?
I've tried Prime. Yeah.
Like
It's
it?
delicious. Yeah.
I've heard it's good. I just don't.
They did a great job flavoring it, so more power to them. Great job, guys.
Yeah, I just can't support those two.
Well, I think that's what we got here this week on the Nut Club. And
why not? Why not? Why can't you support them?
Because I used to watch KSI when he was a YouTuber. And
Did you really?
What'd you do?
To rage for views, and I just can't buy a product from a kid that used to throw temper tantrums.
How old is he?
He's our age.
He's our age.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was doing that early.
Yeah. No, those
Okay.
dudes are our age.
Okay. Yeah.
whatever happened to Fred?
I have no idea who Fred is.
Durst?
No, the really high pitched voice guy on YouTube.
Oh, no.
He seemed like your guys' age.
You guys remember Chocolate Rain, though?
Chocolate
Rain.
I don't. If you
Some will die and others feel
Yeah.
the pain.
if you,
Chocolate
if you do
Rain.
nothing else today, go look up the ninja that knocks himself out. Look up the Afro Ninja.
Afro
That's-
Ninja. Is that a good one?
It's the best YouTube clip of all time.
All right. I'll look it up.
Well, hey, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, you filthy, filthy animals.
Merry Christmas indeed.
So you better not cheat on your diet on Christmas either.
Or your partner.
Well, that could be bad news, especially on Christmas.
Saint Nicholas won't.
He would. The Saint. Do you know any history about Saint Nicholas?
No.
Okay.
Do you?
He's a saint.
I was about to say.
I was just asking. Is this they've come up with stuff? I don't know anything though.
Yeah, I have no idea
That's
either.
why I was curious. Okay. Well, all right. Thanks for cranking one out, guys.
Thank you for bringing out the Nut Club.
Another one bites the dust.
Is this 11?
This is 12.
This is 12.
Mm-hmm.
Guys.
Don't say.
Don't say.
And Cabana.
Did you say don't say?
Is there an in?
I don't think so. I think it's just dose. It's 12. It's once. Dose, though. I don't think it's don't say.
I believe you. I don't know.
Once, dose, trece, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And that's all I know.
You say so, bro.
Yep. Adios, amigos.
Thank you for cranking out the Nut
Hasta
Club.
mañana.
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad.
Use the code Nut Club for 20% off your first order.
Nut Club, 20% off. Use it.